You're listening to Zap Night's Zap Chats, a monthly video game discussion. Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Zap Chats.
Yeah.
It's for October.
Spooky.
It's just me and Lori today. It's kind of weird. It's just us. Sorry, Kaylie. It's just me and Kaylie today.
Message received.
You gotta go.
You gots to go.
Sorry. It's me and Kaylie today.
Hi.
And we are going to be talking about the games that we're potentially going to be playing next.
Maybe.
We're going to talk about... I want to talk about the handheld versus the console TV experience. And then we also have Tamagotchis that we're going to talk about.
Tamagotchis! The 90s!
So we bought a bunch of Tamagotchis. I bought a bunch of Tamagotchis because I wanted to play them.
You tried to get me to buy. You're like, Kaylie, you should do this. And you're like, I'll just buy them all. It's okay.
I totally did too. But that's coming up. First, we would say, okay, what have you been playing? But
Final Fantasy VI is done.
Final Fantasy VI ruined things. It broke us, so now we need a few weeks of rest.
Yeah.
We literally, that episode came out October 1st, and we literally beat it that same day.
We're recording this on the 3rd.
Yeah, so it hasn't been that long. But still though, this episode comes out on the 7th, so it's I still need a week's worth. So we still don't really know what we're gonna play next. I have a couple games that I have other people in line that want to play. So your husband Brandon, he wants to play Metal Gear Solid.
Yep.
Metal Gear? Or
Solid.
Is it Metal Gear Solid?
Metal Gear Solid.
I think Metal Gear is the Nintendo version. They had a Nintendo Metal Gear, and Metal Gear Solid is
I never followed the
PlayStation. And in any case, so Metal Gear Solid is on the list of games that I want to play.
Resident Evil.
A buddy of mine wants to play Resident Evil. He was on the podcast, Don. He was on the podcast earlier, and we did Mario 64. And he wants to come back on to play Resident Evil. And then I have a friend that I talked to on Instagram who wants to play Resident Evil 4. So it's I want to try and get all these in, but I don't know if I want to spread it out across 3 months, or if I want to have a couple in the backlog, or I don't know how I'm going to play all that. But so I kind of mentioned it. I haven't talked about this a whole lot, publicly on our podcast, but I've been unemployed for a month now.
You're lazy.
I'm not lazy. I've been actively seeking work. But my company that I worked for before, they closed the doors on August 30th. So I've been looking for work and playing Final Fantasy VI since. But that's, I try not to let that affect my podcast stuff, because it shouldn't really affect it other than more content for you guys. But personally, it's a little more stressful right now. I'm also actively seeking another job, so it's
that's a job in and of itself.
It totally is. Yeah, it absolutely is. Constantly. And the stupid thing is I constantly have to be on call. At any minute, somebody can be like, hey, I need you in for an interview, and then I just got to drop what I'm doing and go to this interview. So, that's kind of where I'm at right now. But yeah, it's been nice to have some time off. But it's also been stressful because
I imagine
money gets to be tight, and
you never want your money tight.
I have video games that I want to buy.
He's got a problem.
I do. I don't have a problem.
Does.
It's just at the drop of a hat, if I need to sell all these games, I totally would. But I haven't been to that point yet. Really? Somebody's mowing. It doesn't matter. Also, normally, we would talk about our iTunes reviews.
I know Instagram is your new full-time job. You gotta keep it off your brain.
Instagram has become my full-time job. Silly. But yeah, normally we would talk about our iTunes reviews, but there hasn't been any new iTunes reviews.
Lame.
What?
Lame.
Come on, people.
Do it.
Just help
even
us
if it's
out.
terrible, be like, yeah, I didn't listen. I just wanted to review.
Or even if you just put on there like, hi, I just wanted to leave a review so that you say my name live on Zap Chats. I mean, I don't care.
Hello, Frank
B 23.
23. Sexy babe. 66669.
So yeah, leave us a review on iTunes. I specifically watch iTunes, but like if you left us a review on another podcast site or app, just email us and let us know so I can hunt it down. I don't sit and like actively watch all, because we're on almost everything. If we're not on a podcast app, also let me know so I can get on there. But yeah, we try to get on everything. And I just don't have the time. Well, I kind of do have the time, don't I? But I don't.
It's complicated.
I don't sit and like look at every single podcast app to see if there's been a review. So I specifically watch iTunes. But if you leave us a review somewhere else, just let me know. All right.
Yeah.
Next topic. What do you want to talk about next, Kaylie?
Chats. Zap Chats.
That's what we're talking about.
That's what we're doing.
Oh yeah, we talked about potential games already. You want to do the Tamagotchi thing next?
Yeah.
All right. So here's the deal. I've had these Tamagotchis for a while now. Hang on, the mower's coming back. So I've had these Tamagotchis for a while now, and what started this? Let's back up a little bit. I originally found a Tamagotchi at a garage sale.
An original
Tamagotchi at a garage sale.
1997?
Yeah, it's old. I don't know. Yeah, yep, 97. So I found an original at a garage sale, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to play these again. And so that led to this like, well, I need to have at least two. So then I got lucky enough and found one at a thrift shop. And it was like a Generation 3 or something like that. And let's see. I'll put pictures on Instagram for you guys to see it. This one's from 2000. 2004? Yeah. This one's from 2004. So it's like a couple years older than the one that I found, the other one that I found. So it was like, I kind of wanted to have I wanted to have either one from each generation, or I wanted to have like two of the same generation so we could both play. Well, then I started noticing that they had the Tamagotchis like remade at Target.
And this isn't... They remade them...
Like the mini ones?
The minis, and they only had like, I think 2 buttons or something like that.
No, I think they had 3 buttons.
It didn't have it didn't have very many functions. And I think it was designed for like the kids that are now adults who are leading a busy life. I don't know. But yes, then they came out with these, which...
And these are like, it says the original Tamagotchi on it. And the blue ones, we have 2 blue ones, which are Gen 2, and then that one, which is a Gen 1. Is that what it says? It's like this little egg right here.
Oh, yes, Gen 1.
Gen 1, okay. So we have a couple different styles, and basically what I want to do is we're going to open them today. Not that you guys can see, like sometimes we have the video, but you guys can't see it. But maybe I'll splice in some pictures in the YouTube channel or the YouTube video. That would be fun. Anyway, we will open these, and then we will, I don't know, I guess we'll play them for a month, and then maybe next Zap Chats we'll sit down and kind of talk about it.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Like a little mini review for you guys.
We'll have to take pictures along the journey.
Yeah, I don't want to sit and open these, but let's decide which one we want. So there's like this green one with Japanese text on it, which probably says Tamagotchi, not that I would know. The 2 Gen 2. I have 2 Gen 2 in my hand.
Yes.
One of them is like white and green with like little figures on it with Japanese text at the top. The other one is all black with like silver Tamagotchi written across the top, which is super cool. And then what's yours?
Mine's got like a mermaid, like scaly pattern with a bunch of
I was
like
calling
pretty
this
colors.
the dragon scales.
Oh, I see
like,
a mermaid.
It's like shiny and
I like this one.
scaly.
This one's really cute. They're all cute though, because they're all Tamagotchis.
They're all Tamagotchis. And then the originals that I have a silver one with like angel wings, and it's called Tamagotchi Angel, which I think is like when your Tamagotchis die and the original ones, they go to this game. I'm just making it up, but it's funny. And then we have the Jamadotchi.
Jamadotchis. They're off-brand Tamagotchis. The Jamadotchis.
I have the Tamagotchi Connection, which is, I think, the Gen 3 one. And they have the, like, infrared thing. And I think you can also go online and get, like, codes to give your Tamagotchi items. Do you remember that?
I don't.
Yeah,
maybe sure. I do. It's been a while.
And, like, the infrared thing is where they could communicate with two different Tamagotchis.
I kind of remember this.
And yeah, so that's what that is. And like I said, I'll try and post some pictures. I'll post them on Instagram, but I'll also post them with the video for this. It's easy for me to say that and then forget about it. So like, I'm hoping that you are just seeing the pictures.
Well, bug us if we didn't.
Yeah, right. So yeah, Tamagotchis. That's gonna be fun. Which one do you think you're gonna go with? You're gonna go with that one?
I kind of want to, but I didn't want to if it was what you wanted.
I'm fine. I think I'm going to go with the black one.
Black one is pretty cool.
I think I'm going to go with the black one.
I do like this angel one, though.
We'll
this,
see if Lori
like,
wants to
original.
play. You can play that one, too, if you'd like.
I don't want to be, like, stuck. I mean, no one wants twins.
No one wants twins. Sorry for all you twin parents out there.
On the flip side, it would be cool to compare additionally to see how closely they match.
I mean, you know what we could do is kind of the week before we do the next Zap Chats, maybe we can plug these in.
Oh yeah, and just kind of play them for a week.
For like a week. And
I think that would be a good idea.
So yeah, that'll be fun.
I think I remember this Angel Tamagotchi from like a memory of mine.
I have another one, and I have another one downstairs that is pink, and it is like the original Tamagotchi, but it doesn't work. And I tore this thing apart trying to figure out what made it tick, what is wrong with it, and I just cannot figure out what's wrong. So, yeah, that's why I didn't bother bringing it up, because I couldn't play it. But that one was actually in, we were going through Lori's parents' basement, and that was in like a bucket of toys, and I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Is that the one that sparked the first interest?
No, it was one of these that we found. And then we found that one, and it was weird because
I was just about to ask you to bring up this story because you were when you decided to start looking for them, right? Yeah,
it was like, okay, I found the one at the garage sale, I found the one that in Lori's parents' basement, and then I found this other one at a Goodwill, and I haven't been able to find one since. I thought, well, shoot, if they're this easy to come by, I'll just pick up a couple and then call it good. And yeah, no, they're not out there. Like, Goodwills are really hard to find them because they like put them in all these like bags of toys, and if you're lucky, you'll find one with one in it, which is how I got one of the original ones. But yeah, so that's why it's been really nice that Target is carrying these like remakes of Tamagotchi. So as an extra discussion point for Tamagotchi, they came out with a new Tamagotchi. Have you seen them yet? It's like, I think it's called Tamagotchi Go or something like that. Or yeah, something like that. But it's like a little bit bigger, and the screen is like bigger. And it's $60.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. That's why I don't have one, because it's $60, and I'm not looking to spend $60 on a virtual pet.
Virtual pet that I will most likely kill.
Okay, so I really want one, but like I don't want to pay for one. So eventually, maybe we'll see one on clearance at Target, or maybe eventually, or something. Like, yeah, they'll be on sale, or I'll see one online that's cheaper. I don't know. Yeah, and we can talk about those too.
So
in the virtual pet realm.
In the virtual I remember these as kids, but we've got two different Pokemon Pikachu I mean, what do you want to call these? Like they're like Tamagotchis. They're designed like Tamagotchis.
It's just the Pikachu, like the little. Let me see one.
The sprite is Pikachu. That's your virtual pet.
Yeah.
And they've got like a little ticker in here that's like a pedometer. Yeah, it is. And they've got the original, the first version, which is the yellow one. That's Pikachu, and then like
this one's the gold and silver version.
Yeah,
it's actually Pokemon Pikachu 2.
It looks like it's also got the little infrared thing that you were talking about.
And I think you can connect two Pikachus together to like communicate with each other
to make a Pichu.
No.
Oh.
But yeah, they look like little Game Boys. They're really cute.
They are really cute. You know, thinking as we were joking about that, I think it would be really cute to bring this kind of concept back with the new baby Pokemon.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Cute.
Well, you know,
you like walk your eggs and you can get different Pokemon.
They have like a mini console, like a mini Nintendo console that has a lot of Pokemon games. I'll have to show you.
Yeah.
I'm sure that you've seen it. I can't.
Off the top of your head.
Yeah, this came up at the spur of the moment. It's not like we were choosing to talk about this thing, but like, yeah, it's like a little mini Nintendo console, and they have these little like cards that you put in it, and it's like about the size of these little Pokemon Pikachu games.
Super cute.
I'll post pictures if I can, if I think about it. But yeah, I have been lucky enough to collect the Pokemon Pikachu 1 and Pokemon Pikachu 2. And
is there any more? Did any more come out? I don't think so either. But
they both work, kind of. I think the yellow one, the first one, I think it has some sort of like issue. Like it starts up, but it doesn't stay going. So I don't know.
These are stinking cute.
They're really cute. I love to have them in my collection.
I remember.
I would love to find some that actually worked a little better.
I remember picking these up as kids.
Yeah, me too. Yep. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we had both.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
I think one of these is original to us. And maybe the second one?
I think so, because the first...
I think I found that one at a garage sale.
I don't want to say that this is true, but I want to say that I have this somewhere.
Really?
I don't know for sure, but I want to say... If not, then probably Shannon does.
Yeah.
Shannon.
Yeah, you'll have to look and see, because it would be nice to have one of our original ones. Both of our original ones, apparently. So yeah, that's Tamagotchis. So from today, your today, which is
the 7th?
The 7th, when this episode airs, we will open these guys up. We'll take some pictures. We'll post them online, and we'll kind of keep you guys updated through our Instagram stories. So if you're not following us on Instagram, you might want to if this sounds like fun. But yeah, we'll start that adventure on the 7th, and then we'll continue through to next Zap Chats.
Yeah. We'll update you how our children are doing, and if they died, and if they made it.
how good of parents we really are.
I mean, I should hopefully have this down. I've got one of my own. He's been alive for at least 2 years.
Oh, you're talking about a real child.
Yes. No, I killed many of my Tamagotchi. I actually...
no, the child died several times, but...
I actually, when they rebooted Tamagotchis again...
The, like, mini one?
I got the mini one, and because it was kind of boring, I did kind of forget it. I had it on my keys for, like, the longest time, and
it would be like... Beep, beep,
yeah, a little bit. And it just was kind of meh. You guys actually got me one...
the Gudetama.
The Gudetama. I loved that one. But his battery actually died right away.
Really?
Yeah, it died like 2 or 3 months after you gave it to me.
If you want, you can bring it over. I have
I'm just. But yeah, that.
Well, we'll have to get all of the Tamagotchis together and take a big family photo.
Oh, the family portfolio. I'm not.
So
gonna
you
go
guys
all
get
out.
a chance to see all of our, and I'm sure that we'll do Instagram post about it eventually. So if you're not following us on Instagram, that's a great place to see everything we've got going on. And a sneak peek at my huge collection of video games that if I don't get a job soon, I might gonna have to sell.
Enjoy it while you can.
I know. All right, so let's move on to the topic, one of our more discussion-y topics at hand here.
I thought the Tamagotchis were a perfect discussion.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk more about them. No, I'm just joking.
I wanted to talk about handheld mode versus TV mode. Not necessarily the Switch, but I mean, obviously the Switch is kind of part of this. What sparked my interest in this conversation was
Final Fantasy VI.
When we played Final Fantasy VI, I played it on the Super Nintendo, and because I have the Superboy, I could play it handheld. And I noticed that when I played with the handheld, I was not able to focus on the game whatsoever. Like, even if I sat down in a chair with nothing else to do, I still was more likely to set it down and look at my phone.
Yes.
And it just was like, it was hard to pull my attention. However, if I hooked up that Superboy to the TV and a controller, it was like night and day difference. Like, it just pulled my attention way more. I don't know if it's because of how like, the TV is center of attention, so, like, my attention is focused on the TV a little more. I don't know.
I have had to use handhelds a lot because I do have a kid. It's made it easier, especially as, you know, when Zap Night started, I don't know if I was pregnant or I was just...
you were, like, right on the verge.
But... So as he was growing, it became more evident that I needed a handheld because it made things better. However, one of the problems that I have with handhelds is that I fall asleep really easily, and and you're right, the phone thing, it was just so much easier to get distracted because you could just put it down, walk away, and come back. Where when you have it on the TV, it's like you're committing to sitting down and playing a game, and I think that makes the difference.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you don't want to. It's silly, but with handheld, you just turn the power button on and just start playing. Where the TV, turn the TV on. I know I'm dragging this out, but
I get what you're saying.
Like the booting up of your system, and
but
it's like a mini process. And for us, when we play games, it's kind of like you turn the TV on, grab a drink, grab a snack, eat your dinner, whatever it is you're doing to play this game to get through.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like a thing. You know how most people sit down and eat dinner to like TV? Sometimes we sit down and eat, play games. Like it's... You don't really get that same effect when you're handheld because you're the only one watching the screen.
Yeah. Yep.
But yes, you are definitely more easily distracted.
Playing in handheld mode.
I think that's not the reason. I'm also just a lazy gamer, but I think that was one of the reasons why it was also kind of difficult to play 6.
I felt that way 100%. Like, again, so you came over a couple times to play, and before I hooked you up to the TV, we were both just playing in handheld mode.
I think we both almost took a nap.
And, like, yeah, it was so difficult to, like, just focus on the task at hand, literally, in our hands. And I don't know, it was more difficult to focus on the game. Where when we hooked up your game to the TV,
then everyone was involved.
It was like, it was all like focused on what you were doing on the TV.
And that's why, though, I was going to mention too, level grinding, handheld is perfect for level grinding. It is. Because sometimes you get in a position where you don't even need to pay attention. You just walk around, hit the A, and then you can watch TV while you're playing it. Talk to your, whoever's next to you, play on your phone, and just, But it definitely, there's it's up. On the flip side, though, the portability, I obviously I don't play my games very I don't go out grocery shopping and playing Final Fantasy VI. However, if
you could.
If I was a teenager, though, like back in the day, I think it would be different. But as who I am now as an adult, I don't take my Switch out with me anywhere. I mean, unless I'm taking pictures in a cornfield.
Hey, we've been there.
But I mean, I think that it's cool if you're taking your systems out to play with friends, but playing handheld, maybe specifically for RPGs, it's a little more difficult.
About to say that. Maybe it has more to do with what games you play.
Right.
Because I have to say, like, Pokemon, I remember playing Pokemon on the Game Boy, and I had no problems of holding that attention, though also it didn't demand attention like maybe an RPG might, where you have to sit and read, you have to sit and like pay attention to what you're doing, otherwise you're gonna lose. So it also, that goes hand in hand with it, like it kind of depends.
Sure. Well, I mean, to the individual, like people who don't take like who don't drive, they might take the bus, the train.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
Long flights. I mean, and that's...
I've said it before, too. I do most of the driving.
Right.
So when me and Lori go out, it's usually me driving. But if it wasn't, and, we go on a longer road trip and somebody else is driving, I would love to have a game to sit and play, like, whether it be, Switch or whatever. It doesn't really matter.
And that, I can understand for some people, handheld, it's probably the perfect... But I mean, yeah, specific to the individual, I suppose. For me, it's...
absolutely. It's personal preference for sure.
Again, earlier on when the baby was crawling around ripping cords out of stuff, I mean, he still is. Now he's just tripping over the cords instead of ripping them out.
Yeah.
But yeah, for this game specifically, anyway, it was very difficult playing it on handheld.
Another case for handheld mode is the ability to not hog the TV.
Yeah, that's
so,
true.
For me, if I'm playing a game that I can play in handheld mode in some aspect, to be able to sit next to Lori, who might be playing a different game or watching TV or whatever, I can be also making some progress.
Right.
Even if it is just, we're going to sit and watch a television show. I don't have to have my full attention on the TV, but I don't need to have my full attention on the game either. I could sit and level grind. That's easy.
That's what I appreciate about the Switch, and even the Wii U, I guess, was kind of designed like that. The Switch is more nice because you literally can take it and go anywhere. Right, Wii U couldn't. But to be able to play it in your hand or on the TV, like having that option.
Say, just about every console, there's a way to play it on the TV. There's a couple systems that you can't. Those systems are the Nintendo DS and the 3DS. I wish that there was some easy way to play those on the TV, and there just isn't. There's you could get a modded 3DS that has this like output to the TV, but those cost like $200, $300. So there is no like easy solution for DS to the TV, because I would stream those way more if there was.
Right.
But I mean, in that aspect, you kind of have to understand there's a touchscreen involved. It's not like you can just plug in a controller and away you go. So some games you don't need a controller, but you don't need the touchscreen, but a lot of them you do. Where like, the Vita, you have the PS Vita, or you have the PlayStation TV you can hook up to. The PSP you can hook directly up to the TV. The Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance you can hook up to the Game Boy player for the GameCube. Or Game Boy games, Game Boy and Game Boy Color games can hook up to the Super Game Boy for the Super Nintendo. So it's like a lot of these systems have a way to play on the TV. It's just, I think there is a Game Gear one too that hooks to your Sega Genesis.
So perks of being on the TV, for example, beating Final Fantasy VI. I'm glad we beat Final Fantasy VI. Now that we have like an example, more examples, I guess.
Yeah.
That ending, which I would feel for almost all of the games, like you would kind of want to watch the ending on a TV.
Yeah.
Because it would have been much more, and especially like volume, because my little Game Boy, he did well.
Yeah.
But I mean, you don't get like the full volume and the full experience.
There absolutely is a magic to the very end of any game. Like especially a Final Fantasy game like 6, where we've spent,
almost 40 hours. You have 40 hours, yeah.
Over 40 hours playing dedicated to this game. When you finish it, you want it to be the spectacular presentation.
Right.
And watching it on the TV totally is. Where, watching it on a little handheld screen is like, cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
you're traveling.
From my point of view, I was way more invested in the game while it was on the TV. And, I understand people need to be flexible and people have different personal preferences, but that's what sparked this conversation. Is when I sat down to play it handheld mode, it was not a very good experience. And then as soon as I plugged it into the TV, it was night and day. So,
I think part of this, not exactly this, but experience it also with people in the room.
Yeah.
So even if it was just Lori for you, or when you were there with me, like, I even remember as kids, my sister would come in and watch me play Animal Crossing. She wasn't doing anything. It had to have been boring, you would think. But and I do enjoy watching people play games occasionally.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the evolution of Twitch, right?
Well, seriously. But you can't enjoy that if you're just playing. You could, but you're going to be really scrunched in there, and then the elbows jabbing starts.
Yeah.
But it is kind of if you're alone, it is what it is. But on the other hand, if you got someone in the room who's just chilling anyway, you both can enjoy that.
Right.
That's, you both can laugh at something.
I have to say that actually playing games on Twitch, there is a lot of that. When there is actually people in the chat room with you,
it's more enjoyable.
Have that interaction of, oh my gosh, this part of the game, or, if a weird glitch happens, you can share that moment of what the heck just happened,
I think about it more like this too. You're in the same room, someone's watching TV, and you're watching a completely different show on your phone. Wouldn't that be kind of weird?
Yeah.
And that is a little different, but you get what I'm saying. Like, you both can enjoy something together.
Right, yeah.
And, even Brandon, who didn't even watch me play the game, he would comment if he'd see me, oh, that looks pretty cool. Who's that? And stuff like that.
We had, the day you beat it, we had a repairman in our kitchen working on something, and he was like, "Oh, hey, what's this game that looks really old?" Not that he obviously didn't know a whole lot about video games, but it was like
it was there. He was talking about it.
To enjoy it a little bit with us was kind of neat.
We were enjoying it. So
right.
That was kind of cool, actually. I appreciated that.
I also kind of wanted to talk about Twitch a little bit.
It makes me twitch.
Because, streaming in general, I guess. Because I was trying to stream Final Fantasy VI, and I kind of touched on this a little bit in maybe another Zap Chat, but, I was playing Final Fantasy VI through Twitch, and it was more of like I was doing it because I did the first 5 Final Fantasy games on Twitch. And it's more like I wanted to have that log of all the gameplay stuff that I possibly could. And man, Final Fantasy VI, really RPGs in general, to try and stream that is so boring. Like, especially if there's nobody in the chat room. Like, it's one thing if there's somebody in the chat room and they're kind of shooting questions to me, or, just to have a conversation flowing, where nobody in the chat room, just me looking at text, is boring. It's so boring. So yeah, I didn't play. I played like maybe the first 5 hours on Twitch, but after that, I was like, you know what? I can't do this. I'm like, I don't even care. Do you think if you had streamed, you would have beaten this game in time for the second round? No. I think that streaming was one of the reasons I didn't want to play. Because I didn't want to have to set up the stream. I knew that it was going to be a boring experience. So I would avoid playing because I didn't want to have to stream it. Then once I decided I wasn't going to stream it, it went so much easier.
I definitely think that, for one thing, we're playing old games.
Yeah, we are.
I think that makes a difference. The audience in Twitch, I don't want to say for sure, but if in my opinion, maybe...
From our experience, yeah.
The kids are watching the more
Fortnite,
right?
And
I think I've expressed interest in wanting to stream Animal Crossing when it first comes out.
Yeah, sure.
And I don't know if people will be interested or not, but I've had my interest, and I think maybe because it's a newer game, maybe it would be different.
Yeah.
But that's not an RPG at the same time. It's not.
So yeah, and. Now, when I play, Metal Gear Solid, I'll stream that. Playing Spyro, that was a completely different experience.
Those are very popular.
Even though there was hardly ever anybody in the chat, to play it live like that, I have way more interaction with the game than just sitting and reading text.
Yeah.
You know, if it was, I think, more of an active thing, like Final Fantasy 15 would be fine to stream. You know, some of the games where it's not just like sitting and reading dialogue is so much better. And I think that was the biggest problem, is that this game is so dialogue heavy that a lot of me streaming was just sitting there reading dialogue. Well, not even out loud, just sitting there in silence with my face reading dialogue.
I imagine, too, RPGs, it's hard for people to just jump in the middle.
Sure.
I mean, they could if they already knew the game, but it's different. Like, if I jumped in on you playing Spyro or Mario Maker, you know, something like that.
You're not going to spoil it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just watching someone play a level.
No, it's weird because when I played Arch Nellico, I don't know if it was the fan base of Arch Nellico or what, but I had somebody in there like every single day, and it wasn't, every now and then it was a reoccurring person, but it was like somebody new all the time.
These people probably already had played those games. Right. And that makes the difference,
It does make a difference, but I kind of thought that with Final Fantasy VI, because Final Fantasy VI is a very popular game amongst the Final Fantasy fans. And people who would follow that would be like, oh, hey, somebody's playing 6. Let's jump in and hang out and talk about it. But I didn't get that. Like, every now and then I'd have somebody in there that would say hi and hang out for a little while and then leave. Which, again, is fine. I appreciate everybody that comes in to just hang out for a minute. But, you know, I was expecting that a little bit more often. And
thinking that 6 was more popular.
Yeah, and I wasn't seeing it at all. And again, it goes back to just me, by myself, trying to be entertaining, and it wasn't happening.
With that in mind, though, I wonder how 7 would be received, especially with the remake coming.
Yeah,
would these younger kids want to see it? Would the older, generation want to watch it again?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it something that would be also the same as 6? It would be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I might start playing Final Fantasy VII on Twitch and just kind of see how it goes.
Sure.
If there's not much interest, then maybe I'll just stop. Mainly because it's going to be a lot of the same stuff, like a lot of reading dialogue, a lot of like strategizing in the menus, and that gets boring. You know, like when you came over and you were, getting ready to fight Kefka, I knew what was going through your head, and I could see the like strategizing being played out because I knew the items, I knew the different strategies that could be made. But like from Lori's point of view, maybe
that was very boring.
Sitting and watching someone just scroll through the menu constantly is so boring.
Sure.
So it's kind of that same concept. Like, would people be interested in sitting and watching people play an RPG, or should I just stick to Metal Gear Solid and Resident Evil, the stuff that's a little more action based that people would actually enjoy?
So really, what in black and white boils down to is the type of game you're playing and the popularity, the more modern type of game.
It has to be, from my point of view, for me to want to stream a game, it has to be engaging. Like, I have to be able to engage with the game enough to be entertaining. Or it has to be popular enough for other people to enjoy just
coming together and
coming in and interacting with me. So either the podcast needs to be more popular so that people want to interact with us, or the game needs to be popular enough to have people in to interact. Because I don't want to sit there and just read dialogue while a camera is beating me in the face. Like, there's no point.
Now, do you ever watch anyone, say on Twitch, for an example?
I don't have the patience to watch someone else game. Like, I have games that I want to play, so I don't want to watch anyone else play a game because I have games that I need to be playing. That said, I have a handful of friends on Instagram that do stream from time to time, and I'll jump in there and just say, hey, I'm supporting you, you're doing an awesome job, sort of thing, and then I'll just kind of like let it run so that they get an extra number of another viewer, they get some a little extra attention. But like, I I try to jump in and hang out with them, but like I'm usually busy doing something all the time.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't just sit just to watch someone stream. Now maybe if I was working it'd be different. I mean, I was watching people stream on Twitch while I was at work. I mean, not necessarily
like in the background.
Yeah, just like background noise, and to, you know, if something crazy was happening, I could jump into the chat and be like, "Oh my gosh, that was awesome," you know, sort of thing. But well, that's about it. I think it would be different though if the interaction was more vocal. Like maybe if I were to get more people in Discord.
Oh,
if I had more people like to interact with me through Discord and have like vocal conversation, I think that would be more fun too. Remember when I was playing Animal Crossing? Or no, sorry, it was the other game, the other Harvest Moon.
Oh, yeah.
We were playing Harvest Moon. You would jump into the stream, and I could have people listen to us conversate. That's way more interesting than just me reading dialogue on a screen.
Right. Well, you definitely gotta have stuff to talk about. But on the flip side, it's much easier when you've got something to bounce off of. When I don't watch very many streamers either. The few that I have watched, it's hard because they don't really talk or engage a whole lot. They're just sitting there staring.
Yeah,
and make a comment here or there.
That's what I'm trying not to do. And playing an RPG is hard to do that.
I agree.
Because you have to have your attention.
You do. There are a few times where I would stream while I was at work. I would stream you, and you would make these funny comments, and I would just be laughing in the background.
Because that's me. That's my personality. You know, I'm always trying, especially if I have a camera on me, I'm trying to be entertaining. So any stupid thought that pops into my head, I just say it. I just let it happen.
Right.
And if it's stupid, it's stupid. If it turns out to be hilarious, then so be it, you know?
Little column A, little column B.
Right, exactly. Exactly. So, like, yeah, if I'm streaming on Twitch, I mean, I do what I can to make it a good time, but if it is just me reading dialogue, it's probably not going to be that fun. Unless people are, interacting with me, then I can, I would try and be a little goofy, or I would try and, actually have a conversation, even though it is, text-based, like half text-based, which is tough, but especially with me, because I'm not a very good reader.
I've been watching, I'm sure a lot of people know who this is. I don't know if you will, but we've been watching the Grand Pooh Bear.
No idea.
He's a speedrunner, but I guess he does like, right now he's been doing super expert stuff on like Mario Maker 2. He's done other stuff too, but Brandon's been really into him, and it's been, he is really funny to listen to commentary, just kind of bouncing off people. But I mean, he's got an audience too that might make the difference. Sure. But it is enjoyable when you have to be also an enjoyable person. Like you can't just be
a grump.
Yeah, like some people, like their humor is very negative and like even about themselves. It's not always.
Yeah.
You just want someone being a person there, and just if they're funny, then they're funny, and that makes it even better. But
I don't. This whole podcast experience isn't about the money, so like I have no desire to be a Twitch streamer, and I've been involved in a few groups that are all about streaming.
Right.
And, again, I'm all for supporting streamers and, especially people that I, in some aspect, know or, have a desire to help support. But I have no desire myself to have that support.
Right.
Like, people will come in and say that they're just lurking, which basically means they're letting the stream just run on their computer or whatever, that they're not really there, which again is great as like they're a number, but there's no interaction there. Like I would much rather have somebody there who's actually interacting with me than just somebody who's like, hey, I'm lurking. Like that's cool, but like hang out,
I mean, honestly, I think it would be more enjoyable especially if you're the only one there. Like that's more of an opportunity to be chitting and chatting, but
I guess where I was going with that is like, the group of people who are trying to be streamers in quotes, like a streamer, I don't really associate with those people because from my point of view, all I care about is playing the game.
Right.
Like, ultimately, I care about playing the game, and if I can take some of the people who are interested in Zap Night or interested in the game that we're playing to just have a conversation with them, that's what I'm there for. That's what I want to do. Like, that's what Zap Night's about, is to sit and have a conversation about video games.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yes.
Nice.
Good chat.
Good chat, Zap Chats.
So let us know what you think. You can leave us a comment in whatever, wherever
you are.
Specifically, I was gonna say, you keep looking at me, and I keep forgetting what I'm gonna say.
Instagram.
No, the other one. YouTube. YouTube was the one.
Well, both of them you're fairly active.
Yes, I'm very active in Instagram. I try to interact with people on YouTube, though YouTube doesn't have a very good interaction base. I'm so close to 100 subscribers, and if I get 100 subscribers,
go make 5 extra accounts.
I know, right? If I get to 100 subscribers, then I can make a URL. And then you can desubscribe. I don't even care. I just need to get to 100 so I can have the URL, and then I'll stop bugging people about it.
But don't desubscribe.
Yeah, but don't. I mean, obviously, we're
Leave
great
those 5
people.
accounts.
We're hilarious. Why aren't people more interested in what we're doing?
No one likes a cocky gamer.
Oh, man. But we also have all sorts of other content aside from Zap Chats. We do video game reviews, which is probably why you're listening to this, because you like our video game reviews. But we also do thrift shop games, where we sit and play thrift shop games, and you guys get a chance to experience that with us. I'm trying to figure that out a little more. We have a show that we're working on for the 15th, which we haven't come up with a name yet, but it's going to be where we sit down and play Japanese-based games that are region exclusive to Japan, and just try and fumble our way through those games and see how that goes. I bought a Super Famicom for this, and I have a handful of games, so I'm really excited to give this a shot. So that's coming down the pipe on the 15th. We don't know what we're going to call it yet, but... What'd you say?
The Mario Pipe.
The Mario Pipe. The Mario Pipe. Yes. So yeah. Anything else you want to chat about?
Tamagotchis.
I know.
I'm ready.
Go to our Instagram account and follow us, because we will be posting lots of Tamagotchi stuff. But otherwise,
keep you busy at work.
Yes, that will be my job. I'm not going to make any money doing it, but I mean, it's my full-time job now.
He's an Insta game model.
I'm an Instagram influencer. Video game influencer.
Pardon me.
I'm not. If I was, I'd be actually getting paid to do it, and I'm not. So, again, thank you guys for listening and watching this podcast for Zap Chats. Like I said, coming up next will be whatever we end up calling the 15th episode. We don't even know yet. But then we still don't know what we're going to be playing for the next the actual video game review. It'll probably end up being Metal Gear Solid, but I don't know for sure yet. So keep your eyes peeled. We'll let people know as soon as we find out. Probably Metal Gear Solid, but I don't know for sure. So thank you all so much for listening, and we will see you guys on the next one.